to the GalactiV today. We are here with our wonderful team. We have Caroline. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Caroline, intuitive mentor and Palladian starseed.
Hey, thanks for being here. And we also have Rich. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Rich. I have the Gym News show and I'm following all the news lately. Recently found out I'm a Lyran starseed, so I'm pretty excited about that. Been on a shamanic path my whole life and totally excited to be here.
Yay, welcome so much. We're so glad to see you here. A Lyran and a lion. It's a perfect fit, isn't it? That's wonderful. Well, hey everybody, I'm Myndy. I am a Orion starseed, or I don't even know about that word sometimes. I like it, but I feel like it's such a galaxy. There's so many galaxies out there. So I was just saying I'm from Orion. And I feel recently like I'm an intergalactic mermaid going in between space and all of that out star knowledge and bringing it back to Earth, where I get to host some fun times and experiences on the planet with you guys and share some information with all of you. And we're here to bring together some great information that we have that has been channeled through Caroline. She's done quite a few prophetic soul drawings, and we've had them on our previous shows, and they've always been very truthful and telling and helpful. So we're here to share some more info through those with her and with Rich and his knowledge in the he always dives in and detectives the news pieces, puts together the whole picture. So we're all trying to put together a whole picture and see so many perspectives and options to bring for all you guys out there to think about. And we'd love to hear what you think. So here's our show. Caroline, would you like to start with your soul drawing?
Yes, Myndy, thank you. So I, just to give you a little background, I do personal soul drawings, and that's how this started. And so, personal soul drawing readings where I channel someone's spirit guides and the information shown to me in images and words. And I was like, in the midst of everything going on last year and the year before, I was like, maybe I should do one on the entire planet to bring information from spirit that could be helpful to everybody on their path. So we have here the soul drawing that I did March 15th of this year. And we have some different animals and images and words that spirit pulled out to kind of represent things happening on the planet at this time. So we have a whale. The whale is a blue whale swimming towards us. We have this, I don't know if do you guys see my mouse?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, this V shape is the southeast section of the United States. So it's Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and all that. I kept seeing a large military kind of presence in that area. I saw the military camouflage. And when we have different things, like we have Taiwan, I also saw a military presence. I saw them kind of looking towards the ocean and kind of preparing their military. I also saw like a kind of a divide with China and North Korea, some sort of divide. Not exactly sure what that exactly means. We have gross income before taxes are taken out. We have Putin. This is Putin's torso. I saw an injury in his torso. Something hurt. I don't know if he's going to be with us very long. I saw a gravestone. So hopefully, I always wish everyone the best, no matter who they are. And we have Russia, and we have sort of explosion on the Russian side of the border. So something exploding from within, not exactly if that's literal or metaphoric. There was a question of who would rule Russia next. There was some sort of question associated with that as well. We have 4 rotations of the Earth, something coming out of the Atlantic Ocean. The Clinton Foundation. I kept saying like a Range Rover, and the name Gunderson, which I actually don't know who that is, but I always repeat what Spirit says, and it always has some sort of rhyme or reason. So if you guys want to jump in and tell me what you think about some of these major things or some of the minor things I haven't pointed out yet.
What do you think, Rich? I know that you've got some pretty
Well-
good knowledge about the Clintons and what's going on with them.
Yeah, well, I did mention in the pre-show that the Clinton Foundation jumped out at me. And I think there's gonna be some big news. Well, there already is big news happening on that. Today, in fact, she just got fined from the federal election. The Clinton Foundation just got fined from the federal elections committee for making up the whole lie that Trump was a Russian agent in 2016. So wait till you find out what they're gonna what we're gonna find out about the 2020 election. So I mean, that was the first thing that jumped out at me. But honestly, this drawing is like it's got so much stuff, and I'm picking up on a lot of things. Like the gross income reminds me of Nasara, meaning no more taxes, and that's in the works. So if there's time in the future of the show, I'd love to dive into that a little bit, about the fact that taxes are going away, because Nasara is here. This is the greatest news, and why I think the star seeds and the awakened people are on this planet is because we're waiting for this time. It's happening. And the other thing is, what's coming out of the Atlantic Ocean? Maybe it's Atlantis, you know. They said, when the time happens, the ocean's gonna subside and the old Atlantean Empire is gonna come, rise out of the ocean. And I was hoping Myndy could maybe plop into the cards or into her intuitive senses about the Atlantean Empire, Atlantis.
Very much.
But and the whale, it to me is with my medicine cards book that's pretty popular. It's all about the the higher consciousness and the rhythms and the I know Myndy knows a lot about that. Those are just a few things that come up to me. So if we want to talk about any of those specific things and throughout the show, I'd love to come back to them, or we could do it another time. As far as Putin and Russia, I can tell you that it's pretty known to the truthers out there, the digital warriors, that the Putin that we see on TV isn't the original Putin. The original Putin was taken out 10 years ago or something, and the new Putin's a white hat who's who's on the good side, if you go with that narrative. And just like Trump and JFK Jr. and these guys, they're not here to rule. They're here to give it back to the people once everything is revealed. So I see that. I see, like, you're right on everything, Caroline. I mean, your puzzle is so prominent to me as far as nailing things on the head that are happening right now, as have been your drawings in the past. What sticks out to you, Myndy, from your psychic awareness?
We're having a little trouble with the Zoom meeting right now. It didn't stay like we said. So just give me a second, and I do have a lot of things to say. Sorry about this.
While you're doing that, do you want me to chime in a few more
Yeah.
things?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
I'll touch on some other things.
Okay. So some other things that had come out with this drawing is I don't know what appeals something of being appealed. These hands right here are conductor hands. It's hard to like squeeze in everything into one drawing, like it really is, but I try to do the best I can with it. So conductor, something, conducting music. We have the rainforest of South America. Something just brought me to that area. Not exactly sure. I saw this bird. This bird right here is taking over another bird's nest. So that nest did not belong to that bird originally. It's a different species than what's in those eggs. And we have collective brain power. So all of us together using our collective brain power we can kind of shift things in a positive direction. And we have 4 rotations of the earth. I don't know if that literally means 4 rotations. Like, what is a time frame of 4 rotations mean? Like, is it seasonal, 4 seasons, 4 months, you
Well,
know, you know?
maybe, I mean, that's something, maybe Mindy, you said can you maybe pull a card for that? The 4 rotations?
Good. But I've still got to take care of this real quick.
Oh,
So
my bad. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries.
yeah,
I get too
So
sorry
excited on
guys.
these calls.
I can't really help you at the moment. Just a couple more seconds. I'm sorry. There's so many
Oh, no
silly
worries.
steps.
So we have right here above 40 minutes left. We have like butter that's starting to melt. 40 minutes left. 23, that's always a number that came out. From sea to shining sea. Somebody said from sea to shining sea. And we have, this is springtime. So it's flowers starting to come out of the ground. And we have rain. It's all a joke. Call for rain, no rain. So there was a call for rain, but there's no rain. So it's like people open their umbrellas waiting. They're like, oh, is it raining? But there's no rain. No rain came. So I saw that as well. Some people, they prepare for it and then it doesn't happen, like the weather changing constantly. So
It's
love from
kind of
within
like a
yourself.
drought going on.
Okay, love from within yourself. So kind of going along with collective brain power is that we need to focus on self-love, like doing some self-care, because it's been really rough the last 2 years. So I know that
I think that with the love within yourself, I think that's the ascension process to the 5D, right? I mean, that's all about us remembering who we really are. And I think that's the crux of the Galactive, is to remember that we're not just these animal slaves to the cabal that are supposed to just pay taxes and die. We're sovereign, infinite beings, and the cosmos is, once you get into the NASA stuff and the deception there, I mean, what they've been hiding from us. So when you remember who you really are, then of course you love yourself, because you're like, whoa, I'm this amazing sovereign being. And that would then be the collective, right? Once everyone realizes that, it's a wave. It's a wave of consciousness.
Okay, we're back. We're back in business. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
all right, go ahead and do your thing, Mindy.
I got a dark screen.
Uh-oh.
I still see you guys perfectly
I
fine.
can see you. Yeah. We can see you. There's a lot of stuff that you guys have been chatting about. I've been listening. There's a lot of things. Did you want me to touch on the water? Because that one was the first one that came.
Yeah, I think you should bring us back to the most pertinent, because we can talk all day, the ones that are most at the forefront of what spirit's telling us to go with.
Okay, well, yeah, let's talk about the ocean. Okay, so the Atlantic Ocean, the things coming up, what Rich mentioned, it's also a piece of me feeling really connected to the ocean. Is I do feel so connected to the mer beings and the people and the whales, and like, so we've got the big whale here and then we've got the ocean here. It's these kind of secrets and everything. It's like also a representation. The ocean is our emotions. And so it's diving like down into the oceans to see what's causing everything in our world, in our life. It's like diving under the surface is always what we're doing, what we're trying to share here on the Galactive as well. But underneath in the actual ocean and the mer beings and the whale and the sonar and the vibrations and the way that they communicate with each other is more kind of showing us where our powers are. And so also these mysteries that are coming up, they're coming up to the surface of everything that's going on in the world, bringing to the surface for all of these big political figures and our inner selves, ourselves, but everyone kind of exposing what's going on below because of this, because everyone's kind of in this deep diving space. And so having some mysteries revealed, having some more things that are going to show truths that will open minds for anyone watching this and anyone connected to this and getting to see all the connections, putting the interwoven pieces together of what's going on in this outer world. But the ocean has also secrets that need to be revealed about, like, all of this war and all of these things is so interconnected to, there's so much like radioactive waste and things in the ocean, and all these nuclear, trying to create nuclear weapons has also created a cause on the other side that has created a nuclear environment for us. And there's radioactivity under, or radiation in the waters in so many places too. And so it heats everything up. So it heats up the emotions. So in the same way. So it's like the physical aspects of what's going on in the earth is also coming out and showing in our kind of fighting each other and moving towards whatever we're trying to fight to be free. But
You
the
know, I was
um
gonna,
go ahead.
well, just what you're saying. By the way, I can't see you guys. I'm just have like a black screen, so I'm just going with it that I'm there.
Yeah, you're
Um,
here.
Oh,
We see you.
okay. We can see
but
you.
it's kind of cool because as I'm listening, I'm listening to Mindy, and a lot of things are coming, and it's like, you know, mm, the way I look at it is we're kind of there's like two paths going on in the world, and it's like the great reset or the great awakening, or the world's gonna become the world's gonna completely be destroyed, or it's gonna raise into the fifth dimension. And I think you're right, Mindy. It's all about the ocean. I mean, that's 98, 60, 70% of the Earth's what's on top, at least as far as we know, the surface. And it is heavily polluted. And and some people say that there's what is the right term? Extraterrestrial or galactic or non-human higher beings in the ocean, as well as um potential portals to the inner earth, which we did that show. You guys did that show with Sherry that one time, which talked all about that. I recommend people go back and watch that. That was an awesome show. Um, so yeah, I was just it's kind of like we have to clean up the oceans, or the oceans needs to be healed, or else yeah, it's gonna play havoc. Um, I don't know, Mindy, when you were talking about the radioactive and the nuclear stuff, I started seeing stuff like it has to be cleaned. And
It has to be cleaned. It's a very big passion of mine. Another thing I mentioned about being an intergalactic mermaid is the very first time I did come to Earth, it was mostly all water. There was just one little blip of land, and that was kind of the very first experience here. And this whole planet was mostly water, and it has over many times had nuclear power sources or radioactivity on already on it since before we remember or have recorded. So the Earth is used to,
like eons
um,
ago, right?
right, the Earth is actually used to processing all of these different things. It's just that there's so much of it kind of off gassing and off going that we're not aware of, that we're not being told about, that is causing a more havoc to humans as well, as the mer folk and whatnot. But the there's the solutions are more than just like cleaning up and taking care of the earth. Why I feel the the whale and the sonar and the frequency is so very important, is we can also use a frequency to charge the waters once again and continuously heal the waters and help create that um, harmonization again. Because the nuclear blasts are so large and like a huge explosion, we can still kind of use other different, maybe cymatic frequencies and things that we could combat. So, like, say, the right now I'm trying to figure out how to do radio, monitor radioactivity and different things, radiation, so I can test for myself what actually has radiation in it, what doesn't, and then find a different frequency or something else that can um, be the opposite. So a lot of the times, like the healing, like even in nature, like the healing is right next to the poison, and the solution grow right next to each other in nature all the time. So nature has a cure for everything right next to each other. So the frequency is going to be on that same, like right next to each other as well. So I feel that the whales and the Atlantis and the old technology and that old time, very first time when I was here on Earth, is now becoming more available in people's consciousnesses, because I'm seeing a lot more of the memories from back then, and that through others who aren't nearly quite as intergalactic and space mermaids and whatnot, that are just going through these things on here, is like the wars coming. We have to still kind of combat, like, how do we prevent the world from getting exploded? Because we have to also kind of focus on our frequencies that we're sharing with the world, and um, all this
And I think
external noise is like the internal noise sometimes too, you know?
I
Not that
think that on that note, yeah, as you mentioned, the oceans like your emotions and your inner self too. And I think what the if you want to call them the bad guys or whatever you want to call them, the deep state, they're trying to make everyone so afraid right now with everything they're doing to keep us from cleansing that vibration in ourselves, which it seems to be the cause and effect to be able to cleanse the vibration of the collective. Is that
right, because the fear vibration that you're talking of is the vibration that keeps people from seeing the truth. Because if you're in fear, then you're not using any of your inner stuff. I just want to add that.
yeah,
It's like it keeps everybody away and like looking down, keep looking down, you know?
that's which yeah, and that's I think on one of Caroline's drawings, I think it was the second to last one, was like turn your TV off. And that was like you have, I mean, if you're getting afraid of everything, to anyone who's listening, turn your TV off, turn off the mainstream programming, because that's where that fear is being just pummeled into us, World War III, killer virus and all this stuff. And I think it's more more I think that the human species has come so far, um and, and like you said, we've probably blown ourselves up 5 times with nuclear power over the eons, and we've come so far that really we're pretty sturdy survivors. We're the ancestors, or we're the offspring of the survivors. So I mean, if we don't give into that fear, we win. If we give into the fear, then we fall into the what you just said. Um,
Yeah, I think 100%, you know?
something like that.
And I think it kind of all ties in, because it's like from sea to shining sea, like just remembering who you are inside, sticking up for what everybody feels is true in their hearts, going back the collective brain power. So I think that's a really important thing to remember too when it's this, is like, if I'm having these kind of memories really pop up so clearly, what is the rest of these collective members that are elevated having? come to their minds. What So once it's brought to knowledge, then it transfers. It's kind of like this collective consciousness, collective brain power. The more we focus on these powers, we can send out those specific frequencies into the galaxy, and then other people get to experience those too, if that makes sense. So our collective brain power, we're growing consciously, sharing, showing that it's spreading. And so it also, just by us bringing this up, talking, having this show, it brings such a um just more knowledge for people to share. And I guess it's how,
Remember who they are, right?
yeah, it's like remembering who they are, remembering their innate powers, and stop looking down, like looking inside instead. Remember what you like to do when you were a little kid and how you like to play and imagine.
That's why the GalactiV too is to call all those like-minded um souls who are on that, who are completely awakened and know, and then those that are right on the edge and just like, you know, um, go with your instincts, go with your knowing, because that's where we all need to go. Because it's not a scary thing, um, because it's a perception. But I mean, we're gonna find out very soon that pretty much our entire for the last several hundred years has everything that we thought was real isn't, and all the truths were lies. And that can be scary, but but why I'm here and dedicated to this and with you guys is because you got to get once you pull down the illusion, like in the Matrix, then you see the reality. Once you see the reality, then it becomes a whole new world. And it's just the excitement of knowing that's coming is, trumps all fear, in my opinion. Like I
Yeah,
said,
it really does. Focusing on that excitement, that vibration, that's exactly what that whale is saying. Like, the way we can heal things is through this vibration. The words we speak are powerful. The intentions behind them are really growing in power. Um, and power is so interesting with it would that brings me to just thinking, because I'm looking at the steam power, the short radio silence on there. Is that what that says? Short radio. What does that
Yeah,
say,
short
Caroline,
radio
on your
silence.
thing? Short
Yes.
radio silence.
Mhm.
So I even see, like, how you've drawn this building here, and then the Taiwan above it. And it kind of even reminds me of just, I've been checking into all these different explosions or radioactive nuclear, like, leaks and different things like that. And the power, like, we can use power. You got your video back on, Rich?
yeah, I came back
Nice.
on.
We can use the power and which it creates steam to create a different kind of power, but we kind of stopped experimenting with it because we couldn't contain the radioactive waste. So there's so much radioactive waste all over, and we're going to have to learn as a species how to um, continuously be able to heal ourselves of it. And because we're bound to be infected by it all the time. Radiation, it seems, it's everywhere. It's The more research I've done, the more it's leaked all over. It's
Oh yeah.
interesting. So the world, the earth, again, is reviving. And um it even looks to me like, with the hands and the little thing that you drew under, it's all a joke. It looks like a little lemon or a lime. Like, it also is this similar to the symbol of radiation, like warning radiation. And
Oh, I got something on that real quick.
it's just so interesting. It's like we have to ingest a little of the poison to grow. But where I was going was very important thing that I have noticed is what COVID has done, and what all these kind of darker issues coming up to the surface is, basically, COVID has come in and found anybody's weakness and exposed it. no matter what, if it's health, if it's emotional, if it's all these things. And that's what the radioactive stuff does. It poisons you. Like, it comes and it poisons. So it's also seems to be related to me in what's going on in the earth and what's going on in our bodies with this virus. And we're kind of learning to deal with it, whether we've been, had a vaccine or gotten COVID. There's been counteractive, interesting things that have happened as a collective that cannot be denied, that have been very interesting to see. And the common denominator I found it exposes all weaknesses, and it makes them very apparent. So you either heal those weaknesses, or they're going to be the things that take you down. So it's very important to pay attention to what it shows you and kind of focus more on like healing those weaknesses instead of letting them take you down. But that has a lot to do with the radioactivity stuff. And like, one thing that came to mind as well is the one thing on the planet that reads all the information of underneath the ground, whether it's poisonous or not, and regenerates, is mushrooms and the mycelium, you know? And so the mycelium is going to come and host all the information of wherever it's broken down radioactivity. It's the brain under the ground. So it's time again to dive deep, not even in the ocean, but underneath the ground. And so I feel like our cure for ourselves, or like kind of getting that information from how to heal from radiation and be more immune to it, is through the mushrooms that are located near these places. Like, they hold that information of how that has grown, and I feel like that kind of grows as well. And it's, she's got the forest in here and a lot of just nature stuff. And the way this drawing comes, it seems to me like it's just coming up from the ground and like sharing information up here, but everything's coming from below. So like our solutions are all underneath what we're currently all looking at most of the time. But that's kind of the things that I get that come out of this, and how it's related. I'm not sure about the rainforest though, maybe they also hold the keys to, I haven't noticed radiation around rainforests.
Well,
I don't know.
I think we're basic again. Oh, I could talk about. I feel like most of these things on here, I could talk. I can spin and talk, and so much to talk about on each one. But it's interesting that you talked about it's all a joke, and yet what I thought of was, yeah, at the same time, we're literally destroying our planet with greed and all these things, as far as producing pollution and just effing the future and just pollute. And at the same time, we're infinite beings having a human experience. So we're basically like, it's not a joke, but, and then what you had said with each one, like for instance, the COVID, like you said, the COVID, now it's being more widely accepted that it was created by humans or something, some
I
intelligent
think it
beings.
came from space.
Well, in some intelligent beings, some, it was created. It wasn't, I don't believe the first story about the bat, but it's kind of like without the darkness, you don't see the light. So without the poison, you don't know how to heal yourself. It's like without, even if it's on a fear level, without being afraid, you don't wake up to to
It all
the
has to happen.
what's important and what life's all about. And so it is all a joke in a way, because our egos process it as, oh my God, this is our only, I mean, not, I'm talking about humanity in general for so long. This is our only life. And we get all, so, but in a way, it's a cosmic joke is what I'm trying to get at. And we need all of it. And yeah, there's radiations everywhere. I mean, that's what's so bizarre about it, is we're really we're on the edge of self destruction of our species. Now, here's the good news though. What I think is that we have help. We have galactic help.
That's why we're here. That's why we're
Well, I feel like
researching this and looking into it for people, is because we're
I feel
here to bring that to light to know what's going on, but it's not about doom and gloom for us. It's more
Well,
about
that's
like,
not what I was.
this is what's going on, and here, let's find what we can, um,
No, I mean,
what we
like, we
can
have
do as a
real, we,
species. Yeah.
I acknowledge that there's galactic beings that were born human, but I'm saying we have galactic help, meaning galactics who are still on the spaceships up in space, who are in the spaceships in the ocean, who, when we are ready for them, and this is what I believe, this is what I've come to find. So, I mean, I'm just saying this so you guys can, but I believe that in the ocean, in the stars, there are our galactic brothers and sisters waiting for us to be ready, because I feel like when they show up, they are going to help us clean the ocean, and they are going to help us reconnect with the technologies to clean it up, which is the good news, because I have to go with that because I believe we have really just not appreciated Mother Nature and just kind of shat all over her. And so anyway,
I think some do and some don't, I think
what's
that
that?
there's I think for like with Mother Nature, some do and some don't, but there
Well,
are a
of
lot
course.
that do really care and really do that. We can always do better, and we're always just learning. That's why we didn't have nuclear power anymore, was because wow, we just really screwed up the earth by like trying to even create it, and then it's still like leaking into it. And anyways, I
But they're
know that
talking
Mother
about
Earth,
having they're
oh,
talking about a nuclear war could happen at any time, which I don't
of
believe at
course,
all.
which
But
they've always said that. So I'm not really too concerned about about it, because every time anything threatens, that's what somebody talks about. And yes, it's always possible. That's the thing. Like
it,
the
it's not.
nuclear places could
Not
explode,
not
and
if there's galactics, not if there's galactic beings that have our back. They will make sure that no nuclear warheads ever go off because they deactivate them. Otherwise, I think we would have had more since Hiroshima. We would
yeah,
have
of
had more
course,
nuclear.
if they're out there doing that, that's wonderful. But it's also like they're not coming knocking on my door and telling me they're doing it. So I'm going to do the best I can do as well, and not just expect some somehow, like, we still have to connect to it, or we have to do things as a human species, not just hopefully rely upon galactics, because you never do know as well. And
Well, we are the
so
galactics too.
yeah,
So
there's a lot of us that have some intergalactic space powers and are working on these things on planet Earth as well. And there are the helpful ones, and there's also, the stone people and the beings, and I have no doubt that when the time comes, they're all going to show up. Absolutely. I just don't think that I know I lost my train of thought.
Oh, did it freeze? I thought the screen froze.
I
well, it's
froze.
all a miss.
My
It's I
brain
mean
froze.
that's why that's what's fun about talking about it and trying to put it all together to see.
I'm just saying they're coming for a reason, yes, and we can do what we can with frequency vibrations, um, knowing knowing what we're creating in the world, what we're here to do, what we're here to help with, following those spaces, I think is really interesting. The four rotations, I think, in your drawing, Caroline, I heard you guys saying something about that, and like with the cards or something.
Is it 4 seasons or 4 years?
And this card popped up about it. I don't, can you see it?
Put it towards your face more. Yeah, kind of see it. Yeah, we can see it.
What's it
So it's
called?
rituals and offerings. So you're talking
But
about
if
like
you maybe put your screen big for the audience, because you're
screen.
just a small little thing.
Oh, Caroline has
I
to
mean,
do
I
that.
think we
Oh,
got the gist of we got the
Caroline, can you
here, I'll stop
take
sharing.
off the, yeah, there we go. I think it's cool. What we're going into now is kind of like, what is it all about? Yep. What does it say?
rituals
and
Offerings.
offerings.
And so I feel like that 4 season stuff, it's like important to honor those things and those measures of time and
Of
kind
course.
of look back. And this is kind of a part where we need to look back into what Caroline's popped in that has come true already from her last soul drawings. I know that there's a few things that connect to that. And also, I feel the rituals and offerings is like when these time periods come, make a like an offering to the nature or put your intentions into the season and your blessings and all of that. As silly as that sounds to some people, is this vibration that helps kind of everything keep moving and keep honoring what that season is about and what the energy is, like the power of the energy, you know. So right now we're coming into spring, so like everything's got to be cleared out and everything's coming from under the earth to bust out and create new life, right? So this stuff is coming through to create new light and to yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it strengthens your connection to the earth, which is your home, and the planet that you live on, which you, what is it?
Whether you're from space or not, it's our home,
Dust,
you
well,
know.
your body's from the earth.
And when
The-
we give that feeling and that respect, we get the powers back for us too. So I think it's important to, you know, remain connected to that and stay grounded with the earth. And
Well, I think if you don't stay, I think you're totally right. I mean, if you don't, it's whether it's rituals or blessings or offerings or just your own connection. I mean, yeah, to not be connected to earth is to be disconnected, which means you don't really care, which means that's the whole problem of why everything's polluted, because you don't care about, you're not looking at the earth like it's your mother earth is why they call it mother earth. You wouldn't go and like throw crap all over your mother, so you wouldn't do it to your planet, who feeds you and nourishes you and gives you everything that you need to be
more
happy.
aware of your seasons and like your earth connection and give that gratitude and respect. Absolutely. It's super helpful. I think that's one of the things people can do that's just easy, you know. You don't have to go save all the oceans.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
just keep doing that and it keeps rippling. So Caroline, what do you think you have noticed over time as looking back that you have prophesized and not even really realized or taken the time, and then all of a sudden you go back and it's like, whoa, yeah, that really did happen?
Well, the last, I can share my screen again. The last soul drawing that we did, or that we talked about, or, you know, amongst ourselves, but didn't really talk about online. I sent you guys before, from December 23rd, 2021, is the bottom of the barrel. I think that has to do with gasoline barrel.
Oh, right.
So like bottom, like, you know, less supply, like less supply than is available. And also, you know, Russia is definitely a prominent thing in this drawing. Russian intelligence, Navy, military. Lithuania, which
Which, hold
isn't
on though, you know,
Lithuania-
with Russia, it's like this,
um,
just to bring to light the time frame that Russia popped in, you know, the thing with Putin and all that stuff. This was before, you know, that was announced, or most people were really talking about that too,
yeah. And
right?
yes, and Lithuania is near that area. So I don't know exactly why they brought up Lithuania, but it's near the Ukraine and that whole area. So maybe they were somehow involved somehow with it. Maybe they had military that they added to the, you know, troops or what have you. But yeah, that came out for sure. Central Intelligence, something with England. I'm not exactly sure if there's anything been going on with England, but I thought somebody said something.
Of course there is. There's all kinds of stuff going on with the military in England and all the countries that used to be part of the USSR, and Ukraine and the Nazi movement there. I mean, that's what I love about the show is like I don't think you realize, Caroline, how many things, you know, are happening because you're, in my opinion, both of you are very smart and high vibe and don't pay attention to a lot of what the television shows. But I mean, a lot of it, like the Queen of England's going to die at any time, and you have her right at the top of I mean, she's on her deathbed, and when that happens, some big things are going to happen.
Is
Just
Lithuania, Rich, was that, I'm not so great at my geography. I apologize.
I don't
Was
know
that part of
anything.
the USSR?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have not heard anything about Lithuania as of yet, but
I
I've
feel
heard.
like they hold a key of some kind. When she
Yeah,
said that, I said, there's a key there. And then I felt
isn't there a key
like
there?
a
You said.
secret, like I heard a secret, like there's a secret. And then I see under it the seeds, and it feels like it's underground too, but it's a key. And then I pulled a card while they were saying that, and it says follow the signs. I guess you won't be able to see it, but anyways.
Well,
The
what does it say?
Moldavite.
What's the picture of?
It's a kitsune, Japanese
Yeah.
fox lady, and says follow the signs. But anyways, it was just when we were
Yeah.
in Lithuania, and it told me, so there's something that's going to come up in the future that we're going to find out about that. So we should note that, I think.
Well, yeah, and just real quick, like before Ukraine happened, Kazakhstan happened, where I don't know if you guys remember the movie Borat,
Yeah.
but they made that movie Borat to kind of make everyone think that Kazakhstan was just like this totally third world POS kind of just you wouldn't want to visit there. However, it's one of the main it was one of the main headquarters of the Khazarian mafia, which is this this group that at least for 6,000 years has been controlling the human strings. And the people overthrew the government about 2 months. So that was in step one. Ukraine is kind of the second one of those. And that's why that's going on. And so Lithuania and like all those countries and Poland, they're all like in alignment, right on the edge of the Russia, the old USSR. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Lithuania held some vital key information to what's going on there. But I can tell you some of it has to do with biolabs and the creating of the virus. And I recently followed one of my people that I follow, and he said that he got some information. Again, this is why I hope you guys get a hit on this, that in Ukraine, they hit. So when they make the underground tunnels, they have these big machines that make these tunnels, that they hit this ancient ark that's been embedded in the ground for like 20,000 years. And so this was like these truthers, these influencers that I've been listening to for forever and ever for the last couple of years, that I'm always constantly researching what they're saying and confirming. And now they're starting to talk about ancient 20,000 year arcs stuck in that area of the world. I think there was one also in the Amazon or something. And here you have space friendly right below the
Well, and the Atlantic Ocean, is it?
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So I think it might be some extraterrestrial stuff that might be having a lot to do with the Lithuania or
Oh, yeah, that would make a
in
lot of sense. Yeah, because
Ukraine.
and she's got underneath the Moldavite crystal, which I've always had a weird thing with Moldavite, honestly. It's I don't know
That's
what it
isn't
is,
it like
but
a isn't it from like
so
not
what
this
ends up
planet?
happening when meteors hit the earth, they explode, and then the glass or whatever it because it's so hot, it will turn dirt into crystals and things. And so they find these pieces of them, and it's usually like the heat hitting sand or something and turning it into some kind of strange glass. So this specific one that hit in, I believe it's Czechoslovakia only, has this green kind of strange essence to it. It's almost like clear glass, but very it's green. I didn't mean clear glass. It's almost like glass, but it has some very interesting
Shapes.
designs on the outside, basically how it's hit and exploded. It's fascinating stuff. But the Moldavite, anytime I've worked with it, it seems to be connected to like a pretty strange energy, strange vibration.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. We used
I'm
to
not
sell it in the shop.
sure where it comes from, but a lot of the pieces of it that I've tried to work with and channel, I always get these beings that want me to do strange things and gather uranium and plutonium, and they like there's something really connected to like the radioactivity, the nuclear power, the Moldavite crystal, the kind of the energy, and I feel like it might be all this kind of green energy, radioactive, oozy power. Like there's a way to use it as so much good power.
Yeah, that totally lines up with what this Scott McKay, who out of the blue starts talking about these arcs that are in the Ukraine and different places of the world that he got from his intelligence group, and ancient technology, which totally, when you said the Moldavite and the ooze and the green, it was like it reminded me very much of what he was kind of touching the surface on. So I totally feel like, first comes like COVID, then comes World War III scare, then comes even maybe something else, which again, don't be afraid because there's nothing to be afraid about. Then comes, space, the great revelation of how did they, where are humans from? You know, where did it all begin? What's the nature of our soul? I believe that's coming right around the corner. Which again is, it's what I love about these drawings is because it's got the whole 3D, 5D, and anything in the middle all mixed in. Because I mean, the other thing, Caroline, is you got military on everything, and there's definitely military going on. And we can talk about that story for another time, but
Yeah, and
there
this,
are operations going on, and people, and I wanted to ask you guys about the secret space program and what kind of information you guys get on that, because I think it's so important for people to understand about that, because there's two narratives going on. One is, it's more Nazi type technology and the mRNA change your DNA type stuff. And then you have this other side, which is like, no, these are like our galactic brothers and sisters, part of our connection to where we come from as a species. And they've been helping us the whole time, but they can't make us do it and they can't interfere with free will. And so, but it's becoming more and more obvious that this space friendly ancient technology, out of this world stuff is hugely playing roles behind, you know, the scenes. So do you guys get anything on that? I mean, Caroline, do you? And then Myndy, maybe do you get anything about this secret, when I say secret space program, or
um,
I've been dying to ask you that whole show. So that's why, like, one of the reasons why I'm on the show is to ask you two those questions, because um it's really important for me because I trust you guys so much.
Myndy, would you like to respond first on that one?
Yeah, sure. Um, I think interdimensional beings can do whatever the fuck they want. They can interfere with human will if they want to. There's plenty of them that do. I don't think we're safe or should fully think that about anything that comes from outside of ourselves. But I do also believe that there are plenty that are for the good and want this place to thrive and live, because there's not really a whole lot of other places to live in the galaxy right now. And so I feel like the secret space force could or could not be true, and that still wouldn't really matter, because there is, good and bad kinds of everything. And so the things that are out there that have the technology to help humankind will ultimately, yes, come through. And I feel that those things are here and being designed from getting information from maybe that kind of technology, people that host it, maybe people that have already used it and are here in human bodies or whatever it might be, but that it's definitely coming through for us as a species. But I don't think that having to have everybody believe in it, or like, I don't know. That's the part that is
Yeah, well,
interesting,
no,
because it's kind of like when you bring technologies and things, it's like Tesla, he basically, they kind of destroyed all of his information, and he was here to bring a very long time ago, a very great technology that would have us living free energy all the time, no matter what, because it's already here on the earth. And no one wants that, because no one makes money doing that. And so there's
but
things that are important maybe to
that is coming with Nasara, though, is the Tesla. That information wasn't destroyed, it was hidden from humanity. And when Nasara happens, it's coming. And some people say he
yeah,
was from
hidden.
Venus, whatever that means, but he wasn't human as far as, you
No.
know, he was out of this world. But wouldn't that be amazing if finally the energy was no longer taxed and sold, but it was just collected from the energy all around?
Well, it is,
So
yeah. It's just that the the knowledge is hidden, just like it said. So it's going to be coming up through all this space stuff for sure, you know. But I don't, I don't know. I don't
well,
know
that
how widely
we none of us
acceptable
do.
it
I
is.
would think
Yeah.
you answered it, and that was a great answer. So thank you. I resonate with that, with what you said. There's good and bad on both sides, and there are things, and it could be interdimensional, and you know, it's not right in our face, so we don't know. But something is. I just keep feeling that something's gonna pop soon that's gonna make the whole world go. I mean, majority of the world go
100%.
blow their
100%.
mind and be like, what?
Yeah.
And we need our minds blown, because I'm convinced every day that everything that I learned in school for 20 years was not even close to the truth. So
Yeah. We're always just kind of rediscovering everything and getting to seek deeper. I think one of the main parts we learned about school was how to use our brains, and maybe all the information wasn't correct, but we learned how to decipher it. And, we still learned things despite like taking all the facts as facts. Our brains got to learn how to
yes,
process information.
well, yeah, I
So
agree. But I
there's
mean,
like
when you,
good things about that, and I think that that was part of our training, and we get to learn to decipher the truth the more and more that we go. And I
yeah,
also,
but I mean, like, if if the way they explained our solar system and our planet and everything is completely uh, a lie on purpose to keep us from knowing about our galactic connection, then that's straight up brainwashing.
well, maybe
Yeah,
they
they
didn't know,
oh they knew.
you know?
I mean, oh, they knew for sure
I
because
mean, the people teaching it, of
oh, of
course.
course not. Yeah, the teachers don't know, but they're just getting me. They're just being given a book that they're like teach.
Right.
But when they got to the moon, they found out that they weren't the first people. So that there were already buildings and bases on the moon. That's part of the JFK assassination. And, you know, anyhow, Caroline, what do you get about this whole, these narratives that are being put out there about the secret space program and about galactic beings, what some people call them and angels or galactics, or just humans that are on the spaceships rather than on the planet's crust? What comes in for you on that?
I definitely think a lot of advanced beings have time manipulation technology, like time travel technology, where they could literally take somebody from one moment and pluck them back maybe a fraction of a second before or after, maybe even align it with that second that they took you or put you in a different time zone, and you wouldn't even
Yeah,
know it. You wouldn't even know it. You would be like, it would just be like,
I'm getting the chills on that one too.
yeah. So it feels like it doesn't feel like it's time for it to fully come out yet. I don't feel that it's I don't think we're ready yet, quite yet. I think people would freak out. I don't know if, like, because this soul drawing I have next to the ancient Chinese guy, I have the mainframe, so computer mainframe. So I don't know if that has to do with quantum computing. I always think about quantum computing and how that's our next development, developmental jump, at least publicly, because we know we have
It's already been publicly. Yeah.
technologies behind underground. On the right side of this main guy is this is actually the US Constitution rolled up into a tube underground. It's going through a pipe underground. So information going underground, right?
Yeah.
Sovereignty
Okay.
rights. So it's
Well,
like,
that's like Tesla, like, right. Quantum technologies, Tesla, as Myndy mentioned, is like, that's in that realm of that under that hidden knowledge, right? But
yeah,
it's interesting. Quantum, the quantum, this is part of NESARA too, is the QFS system, the quantum financial system. Don't be surprised if in a few weeks you wake up with a bunch of money in your bank account, because it's being retrieved from, like, again, it's so much, but the U.S. Constitution, since you brought it up, says we're sovereign beings. When it was created, there was no birth certificates and there was no like Federal Reserve. There was none of the stuff that we were born into. That's like the Matrix, paying taxes. And apparently there on your birth certificate, there's some kind of ownership code that, like, the hidden hand, whoever controls all the countries, and whether you want to say those are humans or something else, the birth certificates are like a record of that they own you. The birth certificates and social security numbers, that's a new thing. Those weren't around with the Constitution, nor do they need to be around. And when NESARA happens and the fake money goes away, we all are going to be sovereign. And that's my belief, and that's what I will shout to the top of my lungs until I'm proven wrong. As far as the galactic, no, what you're saying, yeah, I don't know if it's the right time either. And and I think people like us will be so excited. But I think what you're saying, both of you, is that it's not needed, or maybe also it's too much for people who are just very asleep to even their own galactic origin.
It's not everybody's job or mission to even do that too. Not a lot of people have the capacity. There's
No, that's true.
because sometimes I think everybody does, but they're just at different stages in their lifetime as well. And some of us came to have this knowledge and kind of quietly just apply it and do what we're supposed to do. And
Well, we also
I
didn't do
them
this, remember
I
this
think
thing?
that
We didn't do this our whole life.
do what?
The
yeah,
I don't
I'm
want to say it
waiting.
because YouTube
Oh,
YouTube will ban it, but
Yeah,
people who've done that their whole life, can become more programmed out so that they can't
I mean, there's a
process it.
lot of things, yeah, that can cause people to stay in one frame of mind. Absolutely. You know, I think that's something that I just think we're all so different. We have a different timeline to know things, and some people don't care, and that's all right. You know, that's what makes this place up is all the differences. And
Well, the people that don't care probably won't be listening to us.
yeah,
I'm
so
gonna guess. So the
maybe
people
they
that,
do. Maybe they care because they heard something. You never know. I think
well,
it's more like
that's the idea, to wake them up.
curiosity, and it is the idea. And um you know, again, like think about the whale and the sonar frequencies and how far it can pulsate its frequency. Like that's our job. So we've got some good things to go on. For me, I feel like we've done a great show. We've showed some other things here. I'm feeling like wrapping it up unless there's something that you guys feel is super important and valid. We've gone, you know, a couple hours or almost.
I'm good. I'm just so happy to talk to you guys, um, connect with you guys. So however it comes out, and I know that what I've seen with Caroline's drawings is, you know, they speak for themselves, and I've seen things happen, and there's just so much. I mean, I feel like it's like popping, it's like popcorn popping. I mean, there's so much happening right now. It can be overwhelming, but I think we touched, the most I don't want to say important, but the things that we were supposed to touch upon, we did. It can be heavy too, and I just hope everyone's listening. It can be heavy work processing all this for everyone out there, and our goal is to, remind people that there's, you know, that you're a sovereign being, and that we're infinite beings having a human experience, and we're all in this together, you know. And
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, when you're talking about the end of the world and the beginning of a new world, and it can be heavy. It can be, and so I'm excited. Um, you know, I'm on the edge of my seat, Myndy. Like every day I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for, you know, just whatever's coming next. And, I wish we could talk every day, but obviously we can't, because we all have our human lives and our responsibilities and our human paths to walk upon. But my goal is to hope that we can continue these dialogues, as much as we can when it works out, because I think people are going to need uh, some type of connection when as things keep going the way they're going and keeps rolling out, that they'll find us and hear what we got to say, and then they can be guests on and be part and become part of the collective, right? Because that's what we're trying to do, is get everybody. And I think we were going to mention that we're starting the Telegram channel that is open to the public, and that's where we're going to talk about all this fifth D cosmic sharing, right?
Yeah, we can definitely, we're creating a place that we can connect there, and we can um, be able to support each other in the journey of life and remind us that, you know, you're not alone. If you feel you've got some extra superpowers you want to add in, please share them with us. We're always happy to connect to the humans and intergalactics that are on the path of discovering and growing, I suppose you could say, for this planet, and keeping it alive and healthy so we can all live here a very, very long time.
Definitely. Well, I got Rosemary. I pulled Rosemary Essential Oil card for you guys not they don't know what essential oils are. They're the blood of a plant that's taken out through a distillery machine. And it talks about releasing grief, difficulty with transition and change, and it creates an easier transition through difficult changes and phases in life, creates hope for the future. And the centering thought is, I can handle transition. I honor my grief and release it to step into joy, love, and fulfillment.
Nice.
That's perfect for all this stuff and how
I
to
pulled
kind of
this.
move
I pulled
forward.
this
Yeah.
one for us, which is a skunk
Hmm.
from the medicine card deck, which talks about how skunks have, their own fragrance, and it's not always appealing to everyone, but skunks roll with skunks, and it's 7, which is the mystical number, the number that is the most, I guess, 5D, higher consciousness number. And so, you know, if you're out there and you're feeling like you're from another world, you probably are. And if you feel like your whole family thinks you're crazy, then you probably should come and hang out with us, because we've all been there. And so the skunk is a very special. I'm glad I pulled. I mean, it was meant to be. And so I look at you through two as fellow skunks, higher souls, elevated consciousness, and here for the same reasons. So that's why I like rolling with you two. So, you know, I appreciate everything you do. And I'm going to share this on the Gym News show, even though it's a little different. Hopefully we'll get some skunk people, some galactive type souls to come on over and start playing with us. And so all I can say is that I totally acknowledge both of you as being so amazing, and I'm so happy that we have this platform that it's going to be here for anybody who um, is searching for a place to go above and beyond just what's in the 3D. So my absolute respect and adoration for you both.
Thank you so
Likewise.
much, Rich. Love you so much. I'm so proud. So proud and happy that you can join us. And thanks for doing all your work and all your detective work and watching what's going on in the world and reminding us about the stuff coming out, all the stuff coming to light, and our being able to kind of live in this other world where we're more intuitively seeing, and then having that other side going, oh yeah, this is also happening on the outside, internally, outside. It's a really beautiful match to connect us all three. So
It
thanks so
has
much
to
for
be.
doing that. Yeah.
We can't have that's, and I want to have Ichi on as like a guest on the other show. It's just if I can interview you on a personal level,
Absolutely.
so that way we can share more of your gifts one on one. And then I can't wait to do the next GalactiV show or see which interview pops up on the GalactiV channel, because you never know. Sometimes, you know, one pops up and I wasn't even expecting it, but they're absolutely amazing. And like the one you two both did with Sherry that one time, that was amazing. So, did you pull another card or for the show, or did you want to pull one right now for us just to take us out? Or
Me?
yeah,
Oh,
did you?
yeah. So the one thing that I got for everybody just for before I did the show, it's called Talismans of Potency.
Ooh, nice.
And this is an ISIS one, and it's charging sacred objects of power. And so this one has to do with finding a sacred object from the earth or the land that, usually I'll choose like a crystal because that's my language, but giving and holding it as an intention or a power. So, for instance, like right now, I'm working with trying to do frequency and radiation healing for the world. And so, I'll just take this, and this is how anybody can do it with their sacred object, give it an intention and say, I hereby charge you with the power to bring healing to the planet through vibrational frequency, and that you help me find the match for the radioactivity to heal that through frequency and bring more balance on the planet. I hereby ask you to hold this charge, and every time I work with you, I'll find each next step and solution. And so it is forever and always. So you can do that, make your own thing up, whatever you want to do. You don't have to say what I say, but give it a power and intention and feel what you mean into your object. And then every time you see this object, you can remember like your mission. And maybe it's not as big as that. Maybe it's just literally like, I've got to remember to eat better food. Whatever the fuck you want. Just
I love it.
give
It's so
something that
true.
helps. Yeah. Helps you remember.
And that's how you are the galactic change in the world, by bringing in your inner knowing to your practices.
Yeah.
And everyone should. And that is important.
Their
I'm so
own
happy.
special thing they do,
If everyone did that once a day, imagine how fast the vibration on the planet would change. If everybody took the time to just do one intention, just take your own time. Time is of the essence. So if you spend your time giving a healing to the greater good, imagine what could be, right?
So many things.
Love it. Well, I feel sad. I gotta go. We gotta go now, but it was like,
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Right. There's going to be more. Don't worry.
We'll do an update very soon.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Caroline. We're so glad you've got all your gifts that you're sharing. Thank you so much.
You too. Both of you have your
So
gifts.
powerful.
Very
We're a great V,
Yes.
We're the V.
the V. Yes. And for all of you out there listening, come join us and play with us and join the V, because it's like the flying V. We need it's what is it? Never ending.
We can have as many people join as they want, and we're all just together. It's not, no one's really leading. We all take turns kind of popping
absolutely
in,
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
Signing off.
You guys all later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.